And look at what our ego does with that crap. You know, it's like, oh my God, it's the end of the planet. It's like, no. Now, which is all we have, which is infinity, everything is quiet. I'm healthy or I'm not. I'm prosperous or I'm not. But the universe supports us because there is only love. And it's like we live in this giant fishbowl of just absolute love. The thing is that with our ego, who loves to maliciously terrorize us by being in the future or reliving the past and taking us out of the now where it does not exist, what we do is if we start allowing it to drag us into unconsciousness, and we hear ourselves saying, I hate so-and-so because they did such and such to me, what I see now is that there's this big mirror that pops up. I hate who you think you're pointing to, so-and-so over there. The mirror pops right up in front of you, and the law of love cannot accept anything other than itself. So that energy that you just sent out in a negative way, because we are all one, bounces back to you. You see? So we are one. It's just that this world of form convinces us that we are separate. But what we have to do, and I had an experience a few weeks ago with a friend, I've never seen unconsciousness like I saw that day. And she sounded like, bless your sweetheart, she sounded like a Rush Limbaugh tape. And she's a Tea Partier, and she's so terrified about what's going to happen in the United States, where we're going, the loss of our rights. You know, I mean, it was just, she actually made lunch horrible. And I was caught up because my ego loves to judge, you know, and I'm starting to think, oh my God, look how unconscious she is. and Spirit, he said, don't hold her to that, because that's not who she is. Look at the divinity that is her life force. Because if I hold her divinity for her, then there's a light that says, this is the way out. Eckhart says that we need suffering, which causes us to deepen as human beings until we realize that we don't need it anymore. And I'm looking for the door, people, that says exit right there. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't enjoy. I had an experience this weekend, or this last week, because I went to see the tax lady. And my finances are my biggest ego button. And boy, oh boy, did she come up screaming loud and clear. And of course I had to go buy cookies and ice cream because I was, because I was really shook up. And I thought, oh my God, that's my ego. So I said, okay, so I look out and I see the trees and I see the sun and the clouds and I'm back to stillness. And I said, what is now, my experience now is that everything is fine. My business, my bills are paid. The universe is showing me how abundant it is, that I am part of life, and just be in the now. Let's just breathe. Let's just settle down and just be right here, right now. Of course, my ego shuts up, and then we go forward. I mean, the universe has an infinite amount of solutions that I have no idea how things are going to turn out. My job is to stay here and now. The Course in Miracles says that sin is defined as a lack of love. Since love is all there is in the sight of the Holy Spirit, it is a mistake that needs to be corrected as opposed to a sin or an evil that needs to be punished. It is the ego that would like us to be punished. So if you're, I did that. So now I want to tell you about, as a result of that thought that there is only love and that there is the mirror, right? That is why the South lost the Civil War, and that's why Hitler lost World War II, and that is why you will always see the people who are trying to oppress the tyrants, they will lose their power simply because they are trying to stand on the bodies of the people that they would oppress, which they can't do because we are all one. in order to have their way of life, to separate themselves out. And because this is the world of form, which is an illusion, it is not possible. You will always see that happen. And that was so clear, it never ever has dawned on me. I've been having these wonderful kinds of metaphors coming up, explaining to me how stuff I've always wondered about and never could understand. I'm going to share this one with you this morning because this one's awfully cute. That for those of you who have cell phones, Spirit said, this is our consciousness, right? And if you will push the button on the bottom, oops, sorry, not that one. I don't have any right now. But anyway, if I push the button twice, it'll pull up the programs that are running and draining my battery, you know, that I don't remember that, like if I use the phone and then I went to see the baby panda at the San Diego Zoo and I went over here to do this and I've got all these programs running, I can pull them up and it will show you by wiggling that these programs are running. And you can press on one of them, they'll wiggle and then have a little negative sign, which I think is very appropriate. And you can click those little negative signs to turn off those programs. And she says, and what is left is stillness. You can access those past thoughts, those past programs, all of that stuff anytime you want. It's always sitting there on the face of your phone. But it is not draining your battery if you're unconscious and those things are running without your remembering that they are doing that. And I thought, what a cool concept that is. So now I have this little thing in my purse that will always remind me about staying in the now. One of the things that Spirit gave me recently too, which I think is very personally rewarding, is that she showed me this crystal ball, and my ex-husband Luis has this magnificent Brazilian crystal ball that has all these planes and cracks and fissures and all this stuff inside of it. And Spirit said this crystal ball represents you, or humans, and that because it's round, it represents Spirit, which is the beginning, no beginning and no end. But you would say that the planes, cracks, and fissures on the inside are your imperfections, because this ball has different inner landscape than the next and the next and the next. But we would tell you that those are your perfections, because that is your unique gift to the rest of the planet. And the thing is that Leonard Cohen said, who wrote the song Hallelujah, that hopefully Roberta will do for us one of these days, that the cracks are how the light gets in. So, and then Spirit showed me another one that goes right hand in hand with this, that the sunlight shines on all surfaces on the planet's surface through the day. And if you will take a crystal prism and you hold it up to the light, it will break the light up into the color spectrum. And you'll see red and yellow and blue and green. And if you have crystals in your windows like I do, I love to watch the rainbows flashing on the walls. The thing is that those colors, which appear to be separate at that time, actually are because of the white light. And it takes all those components to make the white light. They are not separate, even though it appears that way. We get so moved, so pulled into a story, don't we? And when we go to the movies, and yet it is light passing through film. So do yourselves a favor this week. Practice some stillness, which means if you sit, just sitting, and you just pay attention to your breathing. If you hear yourself say, I, me, or mine, and it's negative, it's your ego, and you can look again. You can look out into nature. You can sit and feel the breeze on your face and be conscious of that, and watch that your ego vanishes just like that. Stay in the now, which is all we have. It's the infinity right here, right now. This is your and my now. In a little while, maybe our now will look like we're eating lunch, or we're shopping, or we're practicing a tune we have to play later the week. Whatever that is. But if we stay in the now, the ego will stop making us suffer. And we can open to the possibilities of the universe's infinite variety of possibilities, of solutions, of the kinds of things that we're working on to awaken in. I hope you will join me in that. If you want some extra work on that, join us when we start the Course in Miracles, April 2nd. I don't know what time. I think we decided 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
She's going to announce it. Do the workbook. Don't worry about the language doesn't make sense to you because the ego does not want you to go here. But I can assure you, if you're looking for that exit sign that says no more suffering, join me and we'll